Kevin Welsh, I want to talk to you about the critical mistakes people make with
Mm,
chatbots because some people are going, should I have it? But some seem to be charging into it. And I've seen a lot of things. Wow, that's annoying. I'm more annoyed than if I had to wait on a phone for a person to answer. I'd like to do our kind of, I call them a top 10 mistakes if we could put it
sure.
together.
All right, so we'll do a David Letterman style, right? So number
Yeah.
10, I would say, is if you don't identify the bot as a bot. I think it's
Yes.
not fair to trick people into thinking that they're talking to a human. It just sets up a really twisted expectation. And you also don't want people who are speaking to a human to assume that they might be speaking to a bot. And I think if we're not honest and upfront about this is artificial intelligence and software that you're speaking to, I think it's important to let people know that this is my company's bot, and hiding it, I think, is fail number 10.
Well, I think that's what happened with Google when they demonstrated the bot to people of a
Right.
chat full conversation and the hairstylist person didn't know it was a bot. I think
Right.
they were surprised in how many people pushed back. They were
Yeah.
like, that's creepy
That is
because they didn't like knowing that they could be fooled as
right.
well. And so,
Right.
and I think, I don't know that Google anticipated that negative feedback. They were so excited that the hairstylist didn't even know it was the chatbot they were talking to.
Right. Right.
Okay, what's number
All right.
9?
Number 9 is when you ask for information right off the bat. So
Oh yeah,
before I will even have a conversation with you, that's the equivalent of walking into a retail store and the salesperson greets you at the front door and says, "What's your email address?"
yeah,
Right? I mean, it's crazy to think of it like that, but people do that. People have chat bots, and as soon as that bot comes up, it's what's your name and what's your email, and it's like, let's find out what it is that they need to know, and see if we can gently negotiate with them to give us that information for our marketing purposes, only if it benefits them. Right? I think it's way too self-centered to pop that question at the first sign of somebody touching your chatbot.
I love the analogy. I mean, you wouldn't have someone walk in the store and say, "Hello, welcome to our store. What's your phone number, your
Right.
email, and your full name? We'll write it down, and then we'll
Yeah.
answer any
Write it
questions
down
you
right here.
have."
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And okay, and your social security, we like that blood type. I mean,
Right.
talk about something to drive away customers. And I've seen a lot of those. Oh gosh, I got to fill this in. A lot of times I just give up.
Oh,
I'm
absolutely.
sorry, it's not that important.
Absolutely. Right. Right.
So that's number 9. What's
That's number
number
9.
8?
All right. Number 8, I think, is when you wait too long to pull in a live operator.
Mm.
So if you're letting the person get frustrated, if they're asking the same question in different ways and the bot doesn't understand it, if they're not able to get what they want and you can't help them figure out how to get out of it, that's just a horrible, horrible branding experience. It's not a nice thing, and it's a great way to get your visitor and potential customer to say bad things about you to other people.
Yeah, we all know that. I've been on phones with a tree yelling, pressing 0 and yelling operator, operator,
Right,
operator
right,
is the
right,
analogy of that in a chatbot. Excellent.
right.
What's the next one?
Yeah. So number 7 is not capturing failures. So if somebody's using your chatbot and asks a question and the bot can't answer it, please know that and fix it by tomorrow or the next day at the latest, because they're probably not the only one with that question. Right? It's your website analytics cannot track the things that people can't find, and your chatbot can track the things that people can find, but you just have to pay attention to it. So I think, number 7 is not capturing the failed communication with the chatbot.
And take, learning from it, doing something, adjusting. And that's what you
Right.
work with people on to make sure they got that. Okay.
Right.
What's the next one?
All right. So number 6, I think, is just not having one when you need one.
Uh huh.
It's just, thinking you don't need it or just missing the opportunity. Right. I mean, we were talking earlier about people who are in the trades. You're out there working. You don't know when an incoming phone call is a nice client or when it's just some kind of spammy call. And so you probably can't afford to take every call and every distraction. That chatbot can do that much more efficiently, much less expensively than hiring a full-time person to answer your phones. So, you don't have to be a large bank. You don't have to be a university system. You don't have to be some major e-commerce place to get really good benefit out of an affordable chatbot.
Such an important example. And one of the students from our class even asked his community, do they think they need chatbots? Because we told him, what do you answer the phone and have to keep saying over and over? And is in the area, he's in a area with a lot of military people. And the common question is, he picks up the phone, do you give military discounts? You know? And so he's now interrupted from whatever he's doing. He needs to get that because he don't want to lose that customer.
Right.
And he set up a chat bot, and his community that's old school, like you don't need a website, people. We got the feedback from them. They said, he came to their class. They don't think it's worthwhile. It won't make a difference. He took our advice and did it and found it was very useful because it was able to address a few fundamental questions right up front that basically he was taking up time on the phone. And at least last time I checked, he's answering the phone less now.
Yeah. And that's a great example of content that you don't necessarily want to highlight on your site, right? So you don't necessarily want to scream, we offer discounts to a very select set of people, right? We love it if they ask us and we give them the discount. I have no issue with that, but it's not necessarily something that I want to put half a page dedicated to, we do military discounts, right? Because it makes other people feel excluded. So that's a great opportunity to take some information and make it easy to access in a chatbot that you don't necessarily want plastered on your site. There's lots of examples of that. That's a good one.
What's the next?
Yeah, so number 5, I think, is we've seen some chatbots out there that just go silent, right? You don't match anything that was programmed, and this is this happens in the do-it-yourself chatbot space. It doesn't happen in the world that we play in, but we've definitely seen some of the homeowner version of chatbots that they just don't respond, and that's got to be the worst experience to be on the other end of that and typing. And how long is that visitor supposed to wait? And unfortunately, in that scenario, they are going to wait forever. So yeah, a chatbot that doesn't respond is maybe that should have been number 10, but that's my number 5.
Well, that's where they ask a question, the chatbot doesn't know what to do. It doesn't have an answer for it and doesn't have an action to do if it doesn't have an answer.
Right.
And there's some that still don't respond to that. Now, there was one of a company I went in, I put in questions, are you there? Hello. And it put just little cute emojis that repeated themselves. So, I mean, nothing would have made me more angry than respond with, a little smiley thing, thumbs up. And what are you talking about? Are you on drugs or what? Is this a and it was a chatbot company's main website that was responding to it. So, it was one of the more or less expensive ones. So that's great. And that to me was almost as insulting as just crickets.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the next one?
Yeah. So the next one I think is errors, right? So just any kind of weird experiential error, like your example of you're pressing 0 and the thing says I'm sorry, I didn't understand that. Press 1 for customer service, press 0 to speak to an operator. And you press 0 again and it's like, sorry, I didn't understand that, right? So it's you have to test these things. If you're going to own a bot, you have to converse with it. You have to put yourself in the shoes of the customer and really feel how this thing works. And it doesn't take long to go through most of in the way that we do it. We build out this list of the intents, and you just type up some phrase that matches each of them and try to understand how those flows work. And there's with a little bit of QA, there's no excuse to have big glaring errors in the chatbot. It doesn't have to doesn't have to be like that.
Excellent. Okay, what's the next?
Yeah, so the next one is if it's too hard to read, right? So the thing about chatbot is it's text driven, right? We're talking about a text interaction. It can't be a tiny font. It can't be red letters on a green background, right? You can do some subtle things to make it feel like it's your brand, but it doesn't have to be, the way the web was in the 90s was rainbows and everything was moving, right? It was like everybody was sort of, enamored with what you could do with the web. And so they did all these crazy things.
And music that got people fired
music,
because they shouldn't be on the site, right?
Right. And so, we see some of that same stuff going on in the chatbot space because it's new and people are trying to be too clever. And I think there's really not a place for that. So subtle branding is good, but think about, it's got to be legible. It's got to be a font size that everybody that hits your site is comfortable with. It has to work on a phone. It can't just be a desktop only experience. So if it's too hard to read, that's a chatbot fail number 3.
Yeah, and sometimes the type's too small or it's locked into some area and it's kind of hard to get to. It's just like, why did you anchor that in that way?
Right.
The same thing. Many levels. Ease of use. A lot of us are older, trying to work with it, a little bit bigger font,
Right.
Or maybe just data dumping too much information at once, which would be the same thing. So excellent. Okay.
Yeah. Number two is poor NLP. And so I think today the expectation is getting higher and higher and higher because lots of companies have great chatbot experiences that and it's achievable for everyone to have at least decent chatbot experiences. That a bad experience is just, to me, no longer acceptable. So I think if you're going to do it, make sure you grab one of the tools that has really good quality NLP, so that
natural language processing,
so that people can type things that people would say and your chatbot will understand it. Don't make me talk to you like a robot.
Are you open? What time do you close? It goes, oh, this is basically the same thing.
Right. That's right. It needs to understand the things that people are typing.
And in some of the very, very basic do-it-yourself, you just have to list a lot of options, and then it'll often fill in the blank. So you're, when cost goes down and you do it yourself, you have to make a little more work to do it versus a developer that's mapped this out like yourself for them. So that's it. Okay. Now let me roll here. There we go. Number one
to me is when the company that's selling you the chatbot is focused on making your life really easy to create a chatbot so that they can sell more chatbots, and not focused on making your customers' experience with your chatbot an amazing customer experience. It's super easy to build a chatbot with this tool. That's great for the 30 minutes that you're spending building the chatbot, but then every customer is frustrated with your poorly built bot. And that's there's no reason for that. Don't get hooked into, oh, it's so easy to build a chatbot with this. Really think about it from the other side of, if I were a customer coming to this website, what would my expectations be of the kind of customer service that I could get from this system, and make sure you put the level of effort into it to get the customer experience right.
I think we covered all that have annoyed me, Kevin. I think a great job in covering
those are the ones that annoy me.
I do want to say, if you've done one of these, give Kevin a call. He'll help you.
Yeah, sure.
You can say, I handle chatbots in distress or something, as well, right?
That's right.
It's like websites in distress was a marketing angle at one point.
Right.
How can they reach you?
Sure. So Kwelsh, KWELSH at WelshTechnologies.com. Shoot me an email, probably is the best way to get a hold of me. Our website is WelshTechnologies.com. There's a ton of additional information there about the things that we do, and there's contact info up there as well, but maybe we could leave some text contact information.
Yeah, we'll have it below, and also we'll have the link to our course that we do together as well.
Sure, great.
I really enjoy. We have a nice intro to the fundamentals of this that's available. So we'll have check those links below. Remember to click subscribe and the bell so you will get notified when more shows come out. So this was really great, Kevin. Thanks.
Yeah, Martin, thanks for having me. Great talking to you.